Hello.
Good. Hi,
こんばんは、
people.
皆さん。
Good evening.
Itachi Suzuki Kobayashi.
Yeah. A Geek Fun. Yes.
Ay,
So it is a Monday night. As usual, we have all the Monday
Monday.
energy you could want. You can have, yeah, all the Monday you can want.
Illustrious.
illustrious.
Illustrious. Emphasis
Illustrious.
on ill.
Oh, your happy marriage.
It's
Oh,
true.
congratulations! Ay, sorry.
Ladakti.
I hope so. Fruitful. We are your companions for tonight.
Sana
Yeah.
all companion, let's go!
Also, hi Vince.
Yokoso.
Yun na talaga title mo, no, John?
I don't know. John just stuck with it, and I'm just like, he's
Yun
introducing. I
na.
can't change the words coming out of his mouth.
Do you understand what's coming out of his mouth?
Yes, unfortunately. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. No, I can hear you.
no, sa stream.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, wow.
Ayan. Naka-on na finally.
Sana naman.
Finally. So, do we get to reintroduce ourselves?
Hi. So again, I reintroduce myself. My name is John B. Narinig naman kayo. You guys were heard. Just me that was missing. And so,
But then you did all our introductions, so basically we didn't hear everything.
So
No, yeah, that's right. John,
Patay.
JB, say it one more time. Eh,
Meow. Okay. So,
naipilit.
let us begin. Again, my name is John B. And tonight we'll be talking about marriages, engagements, and weddings in fiction. Kasi last week,
Yes.
it felt like last
Last
week lang eh. Wow.
session. Last session.
Last
session.
We talked
last
about my
week.
happy marriage, which was actually more than about engagements and weddings for some reason.
Yeah. So it starts with the premise of marriage, but quickly departs into a
Becomes-
different world.
Yes.
So it's still good. It's still good. It's just not
I
that
hope there's a
fixated.
season 2 because I actually enjoyed it. Anyway,
Yes.
No, you
But
did.
now,
yes.
yes.
So today we're going to talk about more about general fiction, talk about marriages and weddings and what we can learn from them, or what we
Mhm.
should not be doing.
What should we be doing? What should we not be doing? What do you like? What you not like? Blah 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 blah.
Yes.
But yes. So
with
paano ba?
that, we'll go ahead.
How do we start?
Tayo ay
I don't know.
Okay.
John, please take over.
Hmm. Please take over, like the Fire Nation. Okay. So okay. How do we do this? Just to set
Um,
the thing for the evening. Anong itatakal
Mhm.
natin? What are we tackling? We are basically tackling not just romances, because we have tackled romances in fiction, our favorite ships, our favorite pairings, romantically. However, the road of romance is not just there,
It's
right?
paved by the blood and tears.
It leads towards marriage. Or at least it generally does, whether in fiction or in our life, um, most fiction have that as an endpoint in their stories, right? So yun yung endpoint. Pero alam naman natin that marriage, weddings are not the endpoint, but they're just a new start. So there's a lot of writing about it. And I guess the question just to throw to the group is like, ano yung, we can start with something easy. Like, what are your favorite engagements slash weddings? And from their point out, favorite marriages in fiction. So this can be in books, movies, TV shows, web shows, comics,
Best
and
wedding.
other depictions.
Favorite wedding, Jake Peralta, Amy Santiago,
Ay,
Brooklyn
naku,
Nine-Nine.
nunahan ako.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Char.
Okay. Brooklyn Nine Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay,
Nine-Nine!
I never got to watch that,
Faye-
but no.
Faye relationship goals talaga si Jake and Amy.
Si Jake and Amy, they're if plausible sorry, minulagan. If it's plausible, realistic, and legit na relationship, Jake and Amy. Just
Okay.
because
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Mm.
So Jake and Amy. For you, Maya.
Same! I
Jake and
can't.
Amy.
Sige.
Fine.
Wait. Hindi,
That's okay. You can have duplicates.
No. Kung kukunin ni Maya si Jake and Amy, kung relationship weddings and marriages,
Yes, sir.
si Kirin tsaka si Android 18.
Ah,
Oh, ayan.
Okay. Sure. That's something.
That's different.
Ikaw, John. What do you have?
So I'm betting in the morning.
Actually,
John.
I'm thinking nga kung anong maganda, ideal
That's
relationship.
true.
Pero kasi sinabi rin nila Jake and Amy, nakakainis. Yung
It
The best
goes
talaga.
to show
I was
how
there too,
interesting. I am the only heretic here. I've never really watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine
But
outside
it's not your
of
humor,
skips.
so good. man.
Outside of
so
clips.
good.
Yeah, outside of clips.
So good, you should watch it.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm trying to
adjust
think
your
of, I'm trying to think
John.
of
Mahina yung boses mo. So,
mahina.
what-
Yeah.
yeah. So while you adjust your vocals.
Hello, mahina pa rin ba?
Lo.
Hello.
I
Dami ko pa
actually-
pwedeng
ko
bigyan
alam eh.
example eh.
Wala na naman? Or okay na yung
Yeah.
boses ko?
Okay na
I'm actually not sure.
sa stream.
Ay, sa stream, medyo mahina siya talaga. I don't know why. So, wala na akong magawa. So, unless I shout. Well, hindi. In-increase ko naman ng volume from the stream. Anyway,
Or eat the mic.
maglalakas na lang ako ng boses. Dami kong problema sa buhay.
Nako, kung yung
It's
problema
better
mo
na
sa buhay
daw.
lang is
It's
just
better
increasing your voice.
Ay,
That's not
nako.
such a big problem.
Pero okay na ako kung
Okay.
boses lang ang problema ko sa buhay, di ba?
Woo! Okay.
So far sa comments,
Brooklyn
meron na
Nine-Nine.
tayong engagements dito.
Ano ba?
Especially
Brooklyn
si
Nine.
Nins.
Pero-
ano bang sinabi ni friend Ninay? Friend Ninay.
Pride and Prejudice daw 1,000 times. Yes!
Pride and Prejudice it is a very interesting take on engagements, weddings, etc.
I love Pride and Prejudice and ang ganda ng story, pero I would say that hindi yung start nila was so
Si Mr. Darcy.
was
Is
so
this Mr.
not
Darcy?
ideal at all.
Let's say it's a good story though. Makes for a good story.
I mean,
so
it lives up to the title. It's full of pride and prejudice, which is what we
True.
can say that
Kasi
what we can learn that should not be in relationships. Pride and prejudice.
Mag-asama pa ba ako ng magbibigay pa ako ng example or hindi na?
Runaway Bride as from the audience. Yes, that's a fun one.
I actually
Julia
like Runaway
Roberts.
Bride, and that was the movie. Wow, movie nerd. That was the movie that reunited Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, because they weren't in a movie together for like decades.
True.
Until that
True.
year. Matagal, sobrang tagal before sila
Basta matagal. It's
Best
not even
relationship,
decades, 9
one daw
years
best
lang.
of relationship kay Alex yung sa Up. Tama.
Yes.
Yeah, Up. That's a good point.
Si
Si
Ellie,
ano,
and I forgot
Incredibles
the
din.
name of the...
Incredibles. Wait. Like Mr. Incredible?
Mr.
Ah,
Incredible.
yeah, yun marriage na yun.
9 years
Marriage
pala,
Marriage.
almost a decade. Pero tagal no na 1 year. 9 years. Anyway.
Marriage yung
Yeah,
pinag-uusapan
Mr.
dito.
Incredible and his wife, they had a pretty good relationship, especially when you
They-
transition from 1 to 2.
Yeah,
Like,
tsaka considering din yung the things that they had to go through.
that's true. Considering
Well,
everything they had to go through.
In modern times, the things that they went through would make them get a divorce. Pero they stuck with each other and actually, worked things through.
I think that's a problem with a lot of relationships in America. Sorry. Pero medyo nasanay sila na if things don't work out, ayoko na. Divorce na tayo.
I have a feeling na magiging ganyan din yan sa Pilipinas kung meron lang tayong divorce law.
Yeah, I get.
Pretty much it in it. But we're not going to that tonight.
Yeah. Wait. So, other examples I could give.
Yes, what other
Examples
can
I
you
could give. Marriage ni Rory tsaka ni Amy. Kahit na
Rory and
Yeah.
Amy from
Doctor Who.
Oh,
Doctor Who.
I am unfortunately not a Who.
Yes, I am unfamiliar as well.
For something
To be fair,
from
maganda
something
yung-
local daw. Something local.
I would agree sana sa
Pero what did you like about it?
yung kay Rory tsaka kay
Yeah.
Amy.
Pero maganda.
It came to a point kasi that Rory had to wait 1 century for Amy. Kasi
That's patience.
things happened eh. Things happened na sobrang hirap i-explain, but because of what happened, it'll take 100 years for yung nagay siya sa isang box the pandemonium. Because of that, it took them 100 years and then eventually nung na-release si Amy, then they actually finally got together and
Okay.
married. Pero medyo si tita sabi Popoy and Basha, pero ayoko eh. Yung second, kung nag-end yung
If it went in the direction that it seems to be indicated dun sa end
in the
nung
first movie, I
it
would
seems
agree.
to be okay. But the thing is, unfortunately, Philippines being Philippines, they have to create drama for movies to continue. They
Yung sequel kasi,
artificially
yung kay John Lloyd tsaka ni Sarah Geronimo. Yeah, yung
Yeah.
Very Special Love. Oh, wow, alam mo.
Wow.
Alam mo.
Okay,
Wow.
so
Syempre!
fiction pa rin naman to, no?
It is fiction.
Yes,
It is fiction. It is fiction. That is true. I mean,
Ang asawa naman kasi ni Sarah si Gudicelli, hindi si John Lloyd. In real life. Alam?
in real life.
Update.
Yeah, anyway, I would agree sana yung si Popoy and Basha if this was the first movie. Kaya lang kasi nung second movie nila, parang nag-digress at kinalimutan ni Popoy lahat ng natutunan niya sa first movie.
So parang
So
yeah,
that kinda
that's
annoyed
irritating.
me.
It is annoying. So,
Ano daw, wedding daw, Anakin and Padme, sabi ni Minay.
true. I mean, if you're gonna throw in weddings, not that I approve of anything else, but just for the wowness of the spectacle.
Mhm.
And Crazy Rich Asians makes for a really fun looking wedding. Not that I'm that crowd.
The
but
wedding,
It's just like, wow, okay, that's crazy.
Ang ganda na example ni Alex.
Yes.
To be fair to Crazy Rich Asians actually hindi toxic yung relationship nila. They're actually very very supportive to each other.
That's
Lalo
true.
si what's his name? Si Nick Young.
Yeah. Nick and his partner.
Actually,
they
he's
had a
actually
very,
very
good
mature
dynamic.
in the way he was handling the relationship.
Everything.
Oo.
And even the drama, actually.
Ano
Was
lang,
not
medyo kulang
poorly
lang sa
handled.
awareness. Pero, yung
Hindi naman natin masisisi kasi. Pero yeah.
yung relationship niya mismo, he knows how to handle it. He knows how to, parang, yung awareness lang ng ginagawa ng pamilya niya. Yun lang
But
yung
I
medyo
mean, you know,
kulang sa kanya.
you're a person, so you can only be so aware, di ba? Si Lord lang
Ang
yung may
ganda na,
alam ng lahat.
ganda na example ni
Yeah.
Alex. In Filipino,
Amy, I,
si
I
Sam
got,
yun, si Sam yun. Yung kay Alex is Enteng at si Faye Cabisote, which is true. Which is true. Ang dami nilang uh, ang dami na nila pinagdaanan literally as a
ah,
couple that, and also at the same time hindi sila equal in the sense kasi si Enteng tagalupa lang
hindi
sila
equal.
tapos si Faye kasi is a fairy kasi si Enteng tagalupa lang syempre
Okay, he's a fairy. Wow.
tapos si
Yes.
Faye yes
Yeah, I know.
so
It's just funny.
syempre diba
Noted.
maganda example yan.
Mm,
Kabisote.
I'm a bit, I know, because like all the examples that pop into my mind are Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
related.
so malamang si Arwen tsaka si ano.
Saga.
I was thinking more of Beren and Luthien, but nobody would
Know that.
Nobody would know these characters. So it's a
I
very
mean-
war-torn story.
I
But-
mean, John, it's better than the Red Wedding.
Okay. Oh, wait. But it's not the best wedding. Definitely not the best wedding.
No.
No.
Definitely
Yeah,
not.
not the best.
Oh,
Not the
that
best wedding.
reminds me of something I need to do. But thank you for reminding me. Anyway.
Ako, patay tayo dyan. Baka mamaya yan sa magpi-play yung the Reigns of Castamere.
Let's go on, sir. Let's go on.
Nakakatakot. Wedding. Ano pa wedding? Example ng wedding and marriage.
Actually, okay.
Wedding.
Here's the thing I want to throw in. This was recent anime, which it's very funny, but
It's a fake marriage. But,
it's a fake marriage.
They're making it work,
which
actually.
is ironically better than most real marriages.
Yeah.
Because they were both going the whole what should be in a marriage, and I have to make sure I portray it perfectly.
Yeah. That
Which
is
they
a very
did.
good point.
Diba? They're like, we have to have supportive whatever for our kids, supportive to the husband, wife, and they're like, oh, we have to do. So parang, it was an act, but they were acting the right
Yeah.
way. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever Vince's comments on Anya are.
Regardless.
Wala yung audio daw. Wait lang. Wala daw audio
Yeah. Okay. So, tech check.
Yeah,
Are we
whatever.
all... No,
It should
no,
be back
John.
now. It should be back now.
No, bakit no, John? Just to-
Nobody knows yung sinabi mo sa Lord of the Rings.
Nobody knows. Terrible. You know that's carved on the gravestone of Tolkien himself, which is very sweet. So he is Baron and his wife is Lucy.
Ano pa ba?
Oh, okay. We were talking about Spy X Family in the sense na it is one of those really good examples. It's actually a
Yes.
fake marriage, but
Yes.
the irony is that kahit fake quote-unquote marriage siya, in practice, they're actually modeling a really good marriage.
Exactly.
So, it's very
Sino
funny.
ba to?
Very funny.
Yan lang.
Very funny.
Merong,
Very funny.
merong si last one.
Sige, ano pa ba?
Si Marshall tsaka si Lily. As a married couple, yes. As friends, depende sa anong season.
But generally,
Wait, isa pa. Last one. Sorry, last one. Nung una nahihirapan ako makakuha na yung example ng good marriage eh. Yung sa Wizards of Waverly Place. Wizards, yes. Diba? And Adam's Family. Ang dami, wow, biglang ang dami
Adam's,
nagano
that's
yun.
a good point. So we actually have quite a bit.
Yeah.
Adam's Family is actually nice. So they're very
Mhm, mhm.
gothic in their looks, but they actually have a very
They are very
strong marriage.
They're very, very passionate too.
Very passionate.
Yeah,
Good.
diba? Si Jerry Russo and Teresa
Sam says
Russo.
Cosmo and Wanda.
Yes, yeah. That's a good example too. Cosmo
They have a
and
good
Wanda.
relationship with each other. We're not saying that they're good characters.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Yung specifically yung relationship nila with each other and how they treat each other is great. I think I can agree with that. But what they do outside of their relationship with each other is in the cartoons is so chaotic, right? It's
I mean,
such a mess.
do we even consider si yung sa Santa Clarita Diet, yung kay Drew Barrymore
Oh
tsaka
my
kay
gosh! Now that you mention it, I love that
diba?
series.
It,
Kay
Yeah.
Joel tsaka si Sheila.
I actually never watched the
Yeah.
show.
I have no comment on it. I've seen snippets lang. It looks fun, but
Yes, it is.
it's just overshown by the who zombie
Zombie
Yeah,
thing.
but they
thing.
also
So I
portrayed a
couldn't.
very good example of a husband and wife team.
Okay. So we have a huge bunch of examples, and
Gusto ko sana sabihin
for
sa
everyone
sorry naman.
who's around, you can just keep throwing comments yung mga different examples. But sige, let's try to drill down a little deeper into why.
Mm.
Why
Why are they good?
these good?
Okay, I'm sticking to
Oh,
two.
Okay.
I wanna start just because nobody ever discusses this. I
Sige,
wanna
go
start
Vince. Vince and
si
then Maya.
Kirin at si Android 18.
Sure,
Ang
go.
ganda ng marriage nila. No, kasi nobody
Okay.
discusses this dahil
Explain.
number one kasi si Kirin sobrang hina daw niya sa fighter after nung after nung sa after ng
Basta in the
sa
show,
basta
he's
after
like
nung
not
first arc
really.
ng Saiyan Saga, he's not strong by
Mhm.
far. Pero
Pero
considering
hindi na.
considering all the humans in the Z fighters, si Krillin yung pinnacle ng humanity strength.
Okay.
Not Yamcha, not
Okay.
Tenshinhan,
Sure.
but
We're not gonna
yeah.
tackle the power scaling.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
Okay.
I'm going to that.
Sure.
Yun. However, si Android 18, she is stronger than Krillin, she is smarter than Krillin, and she is an actual strong independent woman.
Yeah.
Yet she's so happy married to Krillin. I wonder why.
So why?
Kasi one of these things is number one, Krillin at least respects Android 18 to such a point na this is based on snippets lang. Yung amount of respect na binibigay ni Krillin kay Android 18 I think is one. Second, ito yan eh. 'Di ba? Kaya naging importante yung pagsabi ko na power levels nung nag-start yung isang arc sa Dragon Ball when everyone na hindi Goku or Saiyan is going back to battle. Krillin was a police officer. A normal police officer na wala na yung he grew his hair and all those things.
Okay.
Yet, nung lalaban sila, sino yung lumabas at lumaban? Hindi si 18. Si Krillin.
Okay.
And the fact that nung sinabi nung anak niya, Dad, why are you fighting? Mom, your mom is stronger. This is what I have to do. This is my responsibility, blah, 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 blah. And si Android 18 is still so enamored yung word, yes. Enamored, fine.
Yeah.
Enamored kay Krillin. Now, when Krillin was going out to fight, kita mo yung yung emotion na kita mo na mahal pa rin niya na talagang bilib pa rin si 18 kay Krillin. And to be able to have someone that strong, that independent, that smarter than you, to be able to look at you like that after how many years of marriage, diba? It makes you think, ano yung ginagawa ni Kirito na tama? I
So,
can't explain, I can't really pero
ah,
yun yung scene na yun that
okay.
that made me look at it na
He's doing something
na
right. He's doing something right.
yes.
So
And
the
mahal din siya ng anak niya
yeah. So he's doing something right as a dad and as a
as
husband.
a husband.
Okay.
Tama?
So the question is,
Yun.
what are those qualities? So unfortunately,
Yun
the
ang
show doesn't tell us.
mhm.
So we have to try another pairing. But
Yan.
noted that those are an example. So let's cycle around. Let's go.
A pairing that wasn't mentioned earlier,
Um,
which
Sasuke
actually
ka.
has a good marriage by the prologue, is Toru and Kyo from Fruits Basket. Toru and Kyo, sorry.
prologue or epilogue?
Toru
Epilogue.
epilogue by the epilogue.
Okay.
And one of the things that made their relationship work, in my opinion, is that they, and I think this is critical in any relationship, is this: they saw beyond each other, beyond what the people are right now, but saw them for what they could be. And so parang kumbaga hindi nila tinignan yung mga flaws nila at yung mga baggages nila, pero tinignan nila what kind of person this person could be, no?
Okay.
No, parang,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they went into the relationship not wanting to change each other. Gets nyo ba? Parang nakita nila yung potential ng tao to be something, to be someone that they could love, but at the same time did not get into that relationship to change them to be that potential. Gets nyo? Kasi
Okay.
I think in a lot of there are a lot of relationships where people get into a relationship, thinking, sorry guys, na parang thinking, oh, I can change this person, no, parang yan, but hindi kasi ganun
Yung mga tipong I can fix her or I can fix him.
Yeah, exactly. May Messiah complex. so kaya nagkakaroon ng Evangeligaw eh. Ay! Anyway.
Real.
But really, there are a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone does like that, but there are a lot of people who get into relationships like that. When they look at
That's true. That's
the relationship,
true.
parang they had their own baggages, they had their own flaws, but they saw beyond the flaws, they saw beyond the baggages, and saw what their partner could be, no? No? And I think
So
in the same way,
what do we call that?
without the desire or without trying to change the person. Gets mo ba?
Okay. Yep.
So parang parang nakakatuwa lang na you can see that they had that dynamic. They did not look at the person. At saka if you look at the storyline, kasi it's all about people seeing, ay, may mga prejudice sila about certain people. They always look at the flaws of that's why ganito ganyan. That's basically a lot of the baggages of the people in Fruits Basket, na parang it's all about flaws and how people see those flaws. Diba? But yet in these two, they did not see the flaws. They helped each other grow and mature together because they could see the potential in each other without parang wanting or trying to change them, because they would love them regardless, would love each other regardless. Yung.
So for me, the simple way I would encapsulate all of that is they had a growth mindset.
Yeah, agree.
So summarizing it into like a shorter phrase, it's like, what do you call that? It's a growth mindset. So it's like people grow. People are alive and they grow. So you have to give them the room to grow, the space to grow, the conditions to grow. So you can't force them to grow. Diba? It's not when a plant is trying to grow, you can't be like, grow. You gotta wait patiently. You can provide a gooder environment. Sorry, a better environment. You can provide a good environment. You can provide a good environment. You can provide lots of things, and to a certain extent, you can kind of like, help with the trimmings and all that. But yeah, basically, it's a growth thing. That's
Mindset.
how it's a growth mindset. Yeah.
So we have comments. Lol.
Yes, of course you have comments. Yes,
Si Donkey and the Dragon daw in Shrek.
I mean,
that's a
marriage
cartoon,
wise,
but noted.
They actually have a
marriage
good...
wise, yes. They have a good marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question. Kasi meron dito Famulan and Jero Shang. Did they ever get married in canonically in the Disney stuff?
It's just shown in post that they were together. I mean, they're animals, like so.
No. Si
No! Mulan
Mulan
and Shang,
and
dude.
Jero Shang.
Oh, uh,
Who are
I
you
remember
thinking, John?
Far.
I don't know. Sorry, I was like,
Napaisip si Jen eh.
no, I don't know. I really don't know, because like, based on the first movie, wala talaga yan, di ba?
Yeah, it wasn't shown in the
talaga.
movie. I don't think it was shown in the movie.
Yeah.
In the second one, yes. Second movie, yung sequel.
Ah,
Yun yung natanong ko kasi hindi ko naalala yung second movie.
Yes. I didn't see the second
Yeah.
movie either. I think it was one of those direct to
Direct to
movies.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
showed it sa Disney Channel.
Yep.
And
But
they have
apparently-
Another interesting wedding.
They're engaged.
Another interesting wedding is from Cinderella Part 3.
3, wasn't it?
Oh,
2?
the sister.
yung the stepsister and the baker.
No, that's
Yeah,
Part 2. There's a Part 3.
Good
Di ko rin
lord.
pinanood.
Okay, what's in part
So,
3?
let me explain. So, in Part 3, they basically what happened is in Part 3, Part 2 never happened. Because in Part 3, yeah, because in Part that's the funny part of part. In Part 3, one of the stepsisters, the one that was in love with the baker, she got a hold of the wand of the fairy godmother.
Yun yung
And
nag-reset
then-
lahat.
Oh.
So
Tama,
it
I
was
remember
reset.
that.
They reset the storyline. Basically, what happened in the timeline was reset, and then the stepmom tried to get the younger stepsister, the one with the baker, to get married to the prince. No, so parang
Okay.
they had this whole storyline, and then the ending of that movie basically is that Cinderella. Well, there's a part of here that this is just fairy tale. It's Cinderella and the prince, which by the way has character in this movie.
It has who has character in the movie?
The prince, he actually has a character here.
Okay.
But basically they were fated to be together. So eventually they found each other again. And it's shown that but what's interesting about here is that
Okay.
they didn't just get married because it's the fairy tale. No.
Okay. So how did they get married?
They in the end basically they had to fight so that they can be together. So there was like a whole storyline about having them. They had to fight to get together, and then parang because true love wins. When they got reunited, the prince's memories got it's not explained clearly, but basically the prince's memories, he is reminded, oh, you are Cinderella. No, you are the real Cinderella. So whatever.
But at that point, that means to say he remembered their marriage.
I don't know if he remembered that marriage or he remembered their time together prior to the timey-wimey and the ano.
Yes. So it's a romance, not a not a marriage.
The younger sister eventually realizes that this is not real love. That forcing someone or manipulating someone to get married to her is not real love. And then the epilogue
That's nice.
shows that she ends up with the baker again.
Gusto ko
But
sagutin yung sinabi
we
ni,
must we
ano,
must depart romance land, and we're trying to focus on marriages here.
Yeah.
So that's a good
Gustong,
story, but it's not a wedding. It's not a marriage.
gusto ko sagutin yung, ano, yung sinabi ni Alex, bakit hindi ko daw
Which one?
sinabi si Nia tsaka si Simon?
Because they were never married.
They were.
Were they? What? Really?
They were.
Who's never
They
married?
were.
Oh,
Nia and
okay.
Simon, they were married. It was
Oh,
a beautiful
yeah,
marriage.
right. They had a good wedding. Right,
They had a
right.
good wedding.
Tama nga. They had a great that white
Where's
dress
this
wedding.
from?
Guren Lagan.
Guren Ragan.
You're not familiar?
Guren Ragan.
Not really.
My, you know, it's gonna pierce the heavens, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. It was a good wedding. I just didn't want to say anything because I'm still annoyed by how the marriage did not even last for a day. The marriage did not even last for a day.
Because she dies or something? I forgot
No,
why.
because the anti-spirals were gone. So, syempre, with the anti-spirals gone, ano yung, kasi she was created by the anti-spirals.
Right. Basically, she dies.
No, not dies. She disappears.
She non-exists.
She non-exists, basically.
Alex.
So there is.
That's
So
annoying.
it's a nice wedding, but there is no marriage to speak of because they've been married a day.
Barely a
So-
day, and she disappears. So
Actually, yeah, she doesn't. After they get married, she immediately vanishes.
Yeah.
So that they just had a wedding. So it's a nice, beautiful wedding. I'll give it that, but it's not a marriage.
Yeah, but we're talking about wedding, so
That's true. So it is a good wedding. That's why I acknowledge its weddingness.
It's weddingness.
Tama naman.
Alex says,
So-
Christoph and Anna.
Sino nga
Is that marriage
but
or
they
wedding?
no, it's a good relationship. I'll give it that. But I don't think they got married.
No, they got
They
married.
did.
They did.
At the end, but not
did.
like they
We're talking
eventually got-
about marriage naman, diba? Hindi naman,
Yes.
ano.
So we've
Yes.
got a lot of examples. So here's the struggle. We came up with so many examples earlier, but we're not actually getting into them. So that's why I want to hand the floor to Maya because I think she has an actual
Yan.
marriage to discuss.
Oh,
rather
sige
than
na,
like,
gawin na natin.
Let me
Pag-usapan
delay
na natin
that.
si Jake Peralta at si Amy
then
Santiago.
go, Amy Santiago and Jake Peralta. Go.
No. Before them,
Okay,
let
before
me,
them, sorry.
second sila. Yung first is, I would
Got it.
agree with Vince na yung marriage ni the husband and wife in Santa Clarita series. Basically, this series is about the wife becoming a zombie and
Right.
the husband parang he basically ang nakikita ko dito is faithfulness ng husband because if your wife becomes a zombie, 'di ba, normally you would like ditch the
Divorce.
divorce the
Actually.
zombie.
That's a hard question. What would I don't know.
In this series kasi she's not she still has her mind intact as a zombie and her body is slowly rotting away. So they had a few days pa before she would notice that her body is actually rotting. So in the
sad.
span of the series, they were figuring out how the wife can get back to her humanness. And then the husband is so supportive of the wife that he does everything for her. It's basically
He
the
kills for her.
vow being fulfilled till death do us part.
And beyond.
Not kidding.
Right?
Oh, he doesn't kill for her?
No, he doesn't kill for
No,
her.
So he cleans up the messes for her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
the better term to say.
Yeah, they
Okay.
try to like compensate for her hunger for human flesh. She gives her freshly butchered beef or patties ganyan.
Sobrang fresh.
They're really
Okay, yeah.
they're really a husband and wife team. So yun yung Santa Clarita series. You guys can watch it. It's a really good series. And then so we go to Jake and Amy. wherein they found love in the
In the office, on the
yeah, in the
office
office,
place.
police office. And what
Mm.
I see from their relationship, like before they got married, Jake was really supportive then of Amy's career. But even towards their marriage, kasi parang mas nakita ata dun yung how si Amy kasi very ambitious siya eh. She really
Mm.
wants to be a sergeant and everything. And when she finally took the exam, and the result was being given to her, Jake was like, "You got this." And so when Amy got the position of a sergeant, she kind of like chickened out, and she went to the roof deck to like calm her nerves. And but
Oh
Jake
yeah, I remember this. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
I
but
saw that
Jake
scene. Some of those
yeah,
scenes.
snippets din nakita ko actually.
Mm-mm.
But Jake was really supportive of her, that
Supportive.
he
Mm-mm.
doesn't care if she's gonna be his boss, but
Mm-hmm.
he really wants to support her in even to the very end, even if she's gonna be her boss, his
Right.
boss. So another thing is that
Doesn't mind submitting to authority.
yes, another thing is when Amy was trying to get pregnant, or was pregnant
Mm.
with their baby, and
I didn't even
Jake was
realize it
really
got that far, but yes.
Yeah,
yes, yes it
it
did.
did get that far.
Yeah.
It was a really wonderful portrayal of dynamic of husband and wife din sa kanila eh. And Jake was siguro yes,
Mm.
yes, he was struggling. He was having trouble, like actually wanting a baby or not. But they talked about it. They really discussed about it and planned for it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that it really showed
Mm.
how couples, or husband
Should
and wife,
work.
yeah, should work
And
together,
work
should talk
together.
about things, converse
Mm-hmm.
about things, especially decisions that are as major as having a kid. So I don't know
True.
about
True.
Vince and JB, if you have anything else that you
I think
noticed about their
I
relationship.
I think one of the things that, just to add on top of what you said, because one of the things that you will notice in the show as they develop the characters
Mm-hmm.
of Amy and yeah, shucks, my mind went blank. But what I wanted to
Vince.
say,
Mm.
Wala. Go
oh,
lang, sir.
um, the two of them, one thing that I noticed with the two of them is when they would always discuss. There was the open communication where they listened to each other. They did not
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
gaslight each other. They did not
Yes.
dismiss each other. They were not
Mhm.
dismissive. There was
Gaslighting.
no gaslighting. There was just really
Gaslighting.
like, I'm listening to you. I may not necessarily be in agreement in certain cases. I may not necessarily be in agreement with what you're saying, but I am listening to you. So there's no. I noticed that they didn't dismiss each other, nor was there any
Mm-hmm.
gaslighting
Mm.
in their
Mhm.
conversations. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I noticed that they attempted to keep talking about a certain thing until they actually have uh, a solution. Meaning to say that just because they disagreed, that's it. No, they didn't stop there. They kept having conversations over and over
Mm-hmm.
again. Even in that episode about having a baby, it wasn't like
Right.
one conversation. It was like multiple conversations that
Mm-hmm.
continued on, and eventually they came to an agreement. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very very admirable in marriages that work. There's that open communication where they continue to talk about things, not just because they're angry already or they disagree, they won't talk about it
Mm.
anymore, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think that's something that both Amy and what's his face, suddenly my mind is blank of what his name
Well,
is.
what's his face?
Oh my gosh.
I'm blanking. I'm really blanking.
Peralta. Si Jake.
Si Jake, there we go. Because I keep thinking Andy, and no, that's not his name.
Samberg.
Well, Andy
That's not
Samberg.
The
I
actor.
actually don't know the actress's name.
Yeah, the actor's name is Andy.
Melissa
But
Fumero.
yeah, Vince.
Hmm?
And
Wala
mostly in
akong...
Tracy McConnell.
I'm not gonna... Ano kasi eh.
Dignify that with a response.
Hindi,
Okay.
I will. I would want to because it's
Okay.
still a valid example. But at the
Valid
same time
example.
kasi, it wasn't really a marriage. They never
Because
got married.
we never
They never got married. Kaya nga, di ba, ang running joke nga ni Marshall sa kanila is, so, Ted, Tracy, when are you going to stop living this life of sin? Yun ang running joke nila nun. Kasi they were already married. They were married. They had 4 kids. And,
That's a good
yeah.
point.
So parang, I guess, if we're going to be
I'm lost. Who never got married?
Ted and
Technically.
Tracy,
No, they got married.
technically, they
There was a marriage. There was a
at the
wedding.
last part.
Yeah, but
At
they
the
still
last
got
part.
married. So
Pero kasi, it's not a beautiful wedding for me.
no, my
Dahil
problem
na,
is my problem
dahil
with
namatay si Tracy.
no, I think my problem with with
Mhm.
they got married. They had a wonderful relationship. They got married, but then
Mhm.
I think the problem for me was that it felt invalidated after she died, as if it because his true love was never her. And like that was the part of the series that
No.
feels
I'm not
off for
go-
me.
I'm not going to call that retread of their ending canon. Kasi they had to do that because of all the backlash. But the original ending what do you call this, of Ted and Tracy's relationship was that she died,
Yeah.
and that ended it. Pero kasi they had to, they retcon it.
Anyway, I
Diba?
think that was more backlash with the retcon.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm not si Monica and
That's
Chandler.
true. That's true.
Monica and Chandler, marriage, yes. Marriage,
Marriage?
yes. Marriage.
Marriage.
Monica and Chandler.
Hmm.
Ayan.
Hmm.
Ano?
If I take with Monica and Chandler, I think they
Okay.
um what do you call this? They're both. I like the fact that they stuck with each other, but sometimes they're toxic to each other.
Well,
When I'm
Yeah.
watching that
Hindi
show,
kasi,
Yes, Ian has chimed in with a couple that I was expecting to hear from Vince.
yeah, I forgot. I actually forgot. Sorry,
Wash
Kuya
and
Ian. I
Zoe.
know my geek card, my geek cred. Wala geek
Go.
cred ko.
Wash
Yes,
and
Wash and
Zoe.
Zoe.
Wash and Zoe.
Yes.
Firefly.
Wash and Zoe is a
Very
good example
of another
of a
strong,
good
independent woman with a
getting
supportive
married to a
husband.
quirky guy. So dapat pala yung mga strong independent women. No,
Baka
we're not
kasi
gonna go.
strong, you're too strong, independent man, Vince. Eh. No!
No. So what? I should be quirky and
No, you
yar.
should have a quirky woman. Woo!
Oh my.
Anyway.
Anyway, anyway, nakakainis. Ah, since binigay ni Kuya Ian, I want to discuss that.
Mm,
Gusto ko siyang i-discuss kasi parang
little bit, yeah, sure, let's go.
there came a point in time na nagkaroon ng point of contention between Wash and Zoe when Wash was requesting kay Zoe to have a day off.
Mm,
Pero kasi si Zoe it doesn't really want they didn't they ano to yung what do you call this, yung Zoe didn't want to kasi she's afraid to ask from Malcolm,
mm.
'di ba?
Yung
Pero
captain niya.
still, yung captain, pero still
Captain Malcolm.
they stuck
Captain Mal.
together. And alam ko sa comics, alam ko sa comics even up to now I think, na mahal pa rin talaga ni Zoe si Wash
Yeah, of
after
course.
after The Leaf in the Wind soaring.
Woo!
If you don't get that, okay lang. You should watch Serenity.
The
So yeah,
semi-canon ending.
it's technically canon until they do
Unless they recon it or something.
Yeah,
Retcon.
they retcon it in the comics. Diba?
Mm.
Oh, may sabi si Eri daw, they had different priorities. This is Monica and Chandler. Monica wanted a grand wedding and Chandler wanted to save for the future. So Chandler eventually gave in because he said that her happiness is the most important thing to his future. Monica gave in because she wanted the future and house he was thinking of more than her grand wedding. So compromise.
It was a compromise because love is sacrifice. Woo! So
Diba?
it's an interesting wedding. It is one of the more iconic fictional weddings naman.
Yeah.
Um,
Buti na lang si Monica and Chandler, hindi the other one because
the
magkaaway tayo.
I think the problem lang here is not really it is partly a character issue, but it's also like a sitcom issue because in
Yeah.
sitcoms you can't have your characters grow too much because part of your sitcom selling point is to have the characters always have these shticks,
Yeah, some sort of
right?
conflict, right? Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so that's the problem.
But I
Yeah,
guess
I mean, if
Monica
it
and
was an
Chandler
actual growing,
still much better than any of the other relationships on the
Yes!
show.
Yes! Yes!
well, wait. Phoebe and not Ross.
Si
Phoebe
Ant-Man.
and
Phoebe and Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
And Paul Rudd. Yeah, they had a good one. They had a good dynamic. Who did
Basta
you say?
any relationship without Ross in it is a good relationship. Yun na lang.
Okay.
No, but I think
Yes.
it's not just Ross. Both of them were.
Yeah, pero Ross
Not to defend
is the
Ross.
worst.
Not to defend Ross.
Ross is the worst.
Ross is the
pero yeah.
disabler.
But you know,
Jim and Pam.
she's also just as bad.
Yeah, but I'm still saying Ross is
Phoebe-
worse.
Not
Phoebe's
Phoebe.
not the best.
Not
but
No.
with the-
We're talking about Ross and Phoebe and Mike. John.
Mm.
We're
And
talking
Mike.
about we're talking about Ross and what's her name again?
And whoever, anyone else. Ross and
JB.
anyone else is not good.
JB, sino yung ano? Basta,
That's okay. Basta bad example yan. We can move on.
Basta
Jim and
bad
Pam,
example.
Office.
Rachel.
Yeah, The Office.
Rachel Green.
Wow, ang tagal.
Sorry.
Jonathan,
Nagbablank pa talaga utak ko ngayon.
as mentioned by Jonathan.
No, but
Yeah.
I think kasi
No.
my point being is that Rachel was also wishy-washy to begin with. Was also wishy-washy
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Kaya siya nadadala
And
ni
in
Ross.
fact, there was
pero
even
kasi-
that one episode where they were talking about who came on first, and Rachel was so convinced that it was Ross, and then when they watched the video, it was Rachel. So you know, things like that, and like they're both toxic. So you know.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
mean,
I'm
honestly,
blaming. Sorry,
all
Ross
the
pa rin talaga.
all the characters in Friends are funny to watch because they're all toxic in certain ways.
Yep.
They're all actually toxic characters who never quite grew out of it until the very end of the run, and only in minor ways, enough that they could live it out.
Yung pinakamalaking growth would be Joey, and next would be Phoebe.
Mm.
Pero, yun nga, si Ross yung hindi nagbago ever.
Yeah, Ross had the least amount of actual growth, while everyone
Because-
else grew slightly. Si Chandler tsaka si Monica grew just enough for each other to continue.
Mhm.
So, friends not an actually good thing to emulate at all.
So let's move to a good example of what a marriage should be.
Oh, Maya, there's
another
a
one.
Jim and
tag
Pam.
for you.
Yeah,
In the
Jim and
comment
Pam.
section.
Exactly. Jim and Pam. So why Jim and Pam? I have a feeling nanood mo did you watch The Office?
I am familiar with their relationship. Yes.
Actually, no, I did not.
Oh, okay. That's interesting that you were tagged there. But I'm not familiar with Jim and Pam.
Yeah, but I think ano naman.
I mean, yung details rather.
Yeah, snippets siguro. Yeah, but the details, no, I don't know.
There was a
So
scene.
kung
There was a scene that I watched where Pam's parents split up after Jim spoke to Pam's dad,
Mhm.
and Jim was afraid that he was the reason why they split up, and he was so apologetic, and then eventually he well, basically he told Pam, and Pam was upset, and then when Pam talked to um the dad apparently told Pam where I don't think I ever loved your mom the same way that Jim loves you. And then of course when Pam said that to Jim, like they both hugged each other, because and Jim was really worried because he didn't want to be the reason why her parents would split up. But then basically he showed that he was an example of someone who was really loyal and loving towards Pam. And actually, if you see the snippets in the show, they are so supportive of each other. Even to a ridiculous level that even in one gag, and I think everybody knows that gag, where Jim Krasinski was replaced by an actor, their actor friend.
Oh, it was still Jim. What do you mean?
It's
Jim.
He was replaced by Jim. Jim was replaced by Jim.
And I found it funny that they even had a
She was
family
very
photo
supportive of Jim's
where
friends.
Jim was Asian in the family photo, and they're like, "What the hell?"
Oh. What do you mean Asian? Still Jim. Why are you looking at color, JB?
Oh my.
It's so funny. Anyway. Continue.
Continue. Okay, John, ikaw. Who is your icon? Because I honestly don't have one.
What?
Yeah, because like when you think about it, up to weddings meron. Pero yung talagang, you kind of walk through a marriage together. Because let's face it, good marriages aren't the most exciting storytelling. It's difficult to find one where it is. That's why yung Spy Family was a surprise. Eh.
Unless your goal is what do you call that? Unless your goal is a dramatic, story. They're not normally interesting.
Yeah, but that's the problem. People should have examples for these. So that's why usually the ones with the good marriages,
I
they're
think
usually
Amy.
they're usually side characters or ensemble cast. Hindi pwede sila lang. Jason, Jake and Amy is a good example.
I think
But it took a
John,
long time for them to get together.
one of the examples for me that is recent of it's an example of both a bad marriage and a good marriage is the show Marry My Husband. Yes.
Oh, okay.
K-drama ba yan?
It's K-drama. Okay, so just caveat. I'm normally not a K-drama fan, but I got hooked.
Same.
I got hooked by the premise. So for those who don't know, the premise of Marry My Husband is basically she got married to this crappy husband. And
Crappy is crappy.
and actually the word that they used was trash. So a trashy husband.
There we go.
And then she found out that her best friend was having an affair with her husband when she was sick with cancer. My gosh.
Diba?
Right?
Woo, drama.
Wow. And then during the events, there was a scuffle and she got pushed and she landed on a glass table and died. And then she woke up 10 years earlier. So from 2023, suddenly it's 2013. So now she has
jumps
this.
back.
She jumps back in time. Now she has time to actually
Do something.
do something about what happened to her. So
Mm-hmm.
that is actually an example of a bad husband. But in the show, she finds a guy, one of her boss actually wanting to help her, so that she can get her revenge. And throughout the show, all he has ever done is show that I will do. He even says, I will do whatever you want. And like
Whatever you need.
whatever you need, I will do it for you. And so you see, and as the show progresses, you can see how much that he is willing to sacrifice, in order to show how much he actually cares for her, even if it means that he will not end up with her. So for me, that is it's really a picture of sacrificial love because he was willing to do
Mm.
anything, even if he does not end up with her. And
Oh, too
Yeah.
many things
eventually
Episode 1 pa lang
she's
yan,
tomorrow.
don't worry.
yeah. But anyway, eventually she sees that. So of
I mean,
course, as any
obvious
drama,
naman
they will
yung
end up
ano.
together. It's a K drama, so they have to end
I
up
mean,
together.
there's not a spoiler there because K-drama. Alam natin sino yung
Yeah,
main
and so
lead.
they have a happy family eventually. But the point being is
Eventually.
that the character of the guy that I really admired is that willingness to do everything for her, even if he won't get anything in return, because that's how much he cares for her. And I think that's I think one of the things that's crucial, especially in a relationship, is that our love should not be transactional. Our love should not be given. It shouldn't really be a give and take. And yes, we do give and take. That's compromise. That's how you work out relationship. But at the end of the day, it's really about being able to do do things for your loved one, for your partner in crime talaga, your partner, without expecting anything in return. And that's true love eh. That's sacrificial love. That's agape. And it's the same kind of love that comes from God eh. No, the same kind of
That's
love that
true.
can only come from God really at the end of the day.
Mm.
And so parang don ko nakita na parang if if your partner is able to um, love the way
Understand.
that God loves, then yung
Mm.
relationship mo nyo will really have a firm foundation. Wow. So yun.
Girl, firm foundation.
More, it's above and beyond a firm foundation. Kasi hindi siya self-centered na kasi. So, when both parties are focused on others, on their partner, um, it really creates a different dynamic. Sobrang iba yung dynamic. Instead of yung tipong, what do I get? What about me? Diba? So, hindi siya selfish eh. It becomes actual love. Which is, love kasi is other-oriented. So, so. Oo. That is a good actual example of
51st date.
also very
Okay, I have a
sacrificial
question.
one.
There's this movie
Yes.
I know I watched.
Okay.
If
Go
it
for
was
it.
The Notebook ba, yung couple sila
Mm.
na they were together for how many years, and the husband was still beside the wife even though she had Alzheimer's. Was that the movie?
51st Dates is kind of
No, no,
like
no, no,
that.
no. Ah,
Yung
talaga
this
ba?
is like 51st Dates. Iba yan. I'm sure it might be.
Similar?
No,
I,
no, no. Yung 51st Dates kasi is every morning or every so on period of time, she forgets everything.
but
So it's like, yeah.
Eri affirmed na yes, it is The
That's
Notebook.
Notebook. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, pero I think ano na,
I found the story of the notebook. Yeah, it's passionate, but how they began was a bit toxic though.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
but I
I'm not
also
sure
think
if I
ano
really
na
like.
yun eh, real story na ata yun kasi. Ano lang,
So
rewritten.
my interesting point dito na question. What is more important? Happiness or growth?
Oh nga, that's a good question.
Mm.
So in a marriage, yeah, particularly in a marriage, yes.
Can there be
Uh
can there
I
be
would
true
say
happiness without growth? That's the question.
true. I would say growth is more important. Why? A growing relationship inevitably leads to happiness.
Or it will be
Whereas
able to sustain that happiness.
yeah. So if it's binary, let's say you only start with one, growth is better and more important. Kasi growth will produce happiness. Whereas happiness in of itself, yung question mark dyan is, does the pair, the couple have the character, di ba, to sustain that happiness? So
Yeah, I would agree na growth
mm,
would be ano to more important. Yeah, more
yeah,
important.
in any relationship, honestly. Kasi even if you look at our friendships, if you're with a person or you're friends with someone who never grew
Yeah, you'll outgrow that
as a
person.
person, you outgrow that person. It's sad to say, but
Yeah,
you outgrow that person, or at least their friendship changes to
fall
something
out.
more limited. May fallout or maging mas limited na lang
Yeah,
kasi hindi nag-grow yung tao, 'di ba?
that's true.
So, yun. Something like that. So, a person has to grow.
I think
Mm.
also,
Um,
well,
mm,
that number one, well, like I said, you can't really sustain happiness without growth.
mm.
Second, if the goal is just happiness, once you're not happy, what happens then? You're
Wala na.
done. Wala na, tapos na,
Because
ended
happiness,
Exactly.
natin
Wala na.
to.
happiness is circumstantial.
Exactly.
Eh.
And
Yeah, so
sometimes, there
happiness is
are
can
relationships
be
where
circumstance.
you will end up in times where it's difficult, and you might even
Mm-hmm.
say that it's not happy anymore, but it doesn't mean
Mm,
that it's going to be like that forever, right?
mm.
However, when
Happiness kasi is a emotional state,
I
right?
think that's why a lot of couples, especially in the US, sorry, I say it in the US because that's what media shows us. That
Yes. But let's just say a lot of couples, period.
they
Hindi
focus
kailangan
on just the happiness. So
mm.
because it's just the happiness that they're focusing on, when once they're not happy, divorce na tayo, hiwalay na tayo. But
Ano yan eh? Um I don't also like to just keep saying, oh, it's Western ideology, but to a large
Mm.
extent kasi what we know is traditional thinking versus progressivist thinking, conservative thinking versus progressive thinking. Generally, the cultural tone for progressive thinking is more highly individualistic. It's more concerned with the self, the personal happiness, the personal pleasure, kumbaga. Like it's more I centered. Whereas the traditional is more community and other centered. Now, I'm not saying that traditional perspective is not correct because the I centric thinking is actually hidden with that and it corrupts that as well. So parang that's why you have yung mga super toxic Asian family dynamics where naging controlling, nagsaserve lang sa mga certain figures within that dynamic. And this extends to marriage, right? And it's
Mm.
basically a relationship dynamic. So the reality is you have to dig down into the principles which not only produces love and care for one another, but that this also extends towards the community around you. So that's the actual answer, which is difficult, but if it were easy,
there's a
diba?
question here. But what if someone doesn't want to grow? Someone who is content where they are.
So don't take them into a marriage. Do not marry that person, please.
I think
Why not? Why not?
no.
Why not?
I think
Serious answer ba?
there's a difference between being content versus
Being
saying that I'm
complacent.
okay with who I am. It's because if you say you're okay with who you are, it's like you're saying you don't have any faults and your faults cannot be changed, cannot be improved. It's like saying to
That
someone na ganito kasi talaga ako eh. So ano, take it or leave it. I mean,
that's the negative way of understanding that statement. So now we're not
I mean,
saying
I'm
that.
not talking about because I'm saying if you're contentment is different. When
Yes,
talking
yes,
about
I get it.
content,
Gets na.
I'm
Yeah, I get.
okay. I'm
We're
okay.
not
Let's say for
talking. We're not.
example with I'm
Sige,
okay with
tapusin
how
mo lang.
much I'm earning. I'm okay with my life stage, or I'm okay with my surroundings. I don't need to really push for more. But when we're talking about contentment, how can you be content? I have to ask that question eh. How can you be content with your personality, with your character? Parang okay ka na ganyan ka na lang. Na parang,
No, there
di
are
ba?
people who are content with their personality and character because it keeps them, they feel comfortable where they are. However, I just want to expand what you're saying, John, okay? So we're not discussing content. We have to expand yung idea of contentedness. Now, okay, so this is one of the personality traits within sa mga toxic marriages or relationships. So when a toxic person says I'm content where I am, what does that mean? It most likely means someone else is paying for their toxicity, not themselves. Lahat ng mga toxic traits, behaviors, ugali nila is being foisted on to someone else. And it's that other person who is going to have to suffer the results and consequences of the toxicity. That's why he can be quote unquote content where he is or where she is because they don't have to pay for anything. Everyone else has to pay to keep them, to keep that person content because they'll refuse to grow.
I think
However, if
also,
you are aware, then it's a different matter. Okay, yes,
I
John.
think also because we may not be aware, but we may have personality traits and quirks that aren't necessarily bad, but can turn off
Mm,
somebody else in a relationship.
mm.
And
That's a
so,
different thing. That's a
yeah, yeah,
different thing.
yeah. Let me finish. So what I'm saying is that
I'm
I might have a personality that, I'm generally a nice guy and people like me, but I might have certain personalities that might turn off my partner or in a relationship. And if I'm content of not changing and being where I am, then there really is no point in proceeding with the relationship with the person, with my partner, because my partner cannot stand those characteristics. And I think in the point of relationship is, it's not to be individualistic, but for the two people to become one eventually, because
mhm.
that's the design, right?
Yeah, that's true. The oneness,
Exactly.
unity,
So if you
diba?
are
Yung
not willing
oneness.
to grow and not willing to change, you're not willing to make adjustments, and
Not willing to love because love
not
is
willing to
sacrifice.
learn and to love, then what's the point?
Basically, yeah,
Yeah. So
actually.
I think if someone is just saying I'm content with who I am, I'm parang I'm okay where I am. I don't want to grow. Medyo alanganin.
Sus.
Red
Sus
flag.
talaga.
Okay, so
Yeah, pretty much.
Jonathan says marriage is designed to be a blessing to your spouse and help each other to reach his or her full potential.
So
Mm-mm.
wait, ano yung
Words of
pinaglalaban natin dun
wisdom.
sa discussion na yun? That's a
No,
legit
the
question.
the original question was growth or happiness, and then we just kind of continued from there. Yeah,
Okay.
because okay, let's put it this way: marriage itself is founded around what we know that marriage is about love, right? It's about love,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Even from the unless you're a very cynical person, na transactional yung marriages mo. So,
Mm-hmm.
the song says "Baby, don't hurt me no more," but the truth is,
Right?
getting hurt is part of life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are a loving person, what are the qualities you have? Yeah, now we pull out the
First
First
Corinthians
Corinthians
chapter
13. So what
13.
is it? Love is ano ba yan?
What love
Patient, it's
is.
kind, it's not
Yes.
envious, hindi siya boastful, hindi siya proud, hindi siya that's not dishonor others.
Does not
It's
keep
not
a record of
self-seeking, meaning not
wrongs.
Does not
self-seeking.
count
It's
wrongs. Yun talaga
does
eh.
not count wrongs. It is
Be
not
hysterical.
not easily angered.
Historical.
JB, okay ka
Oo.
lang? Baka kailangan mo ng kausap.
Yeah, we're here. We're
We're
here.
here.
But okay, love does not also delight in evil. Like if you're doing something wrong,
Rejoices
it
in
doesn't
good.
delight in that. It's like, hey, we're doing a wrong thing, X.
Mm,
It
mm, mm.
rejoices with truth. What's
Yes.
true, diba? And what else does it have? It always protects. So this is more of a guy thing, but also applies to women, diba? Yung
It
protecting,
can, yeah.
yeah. It trusts. So women trust a lot or need to trust a lot, but also guys too.
Yeah.
So and it always hopes. Di ba? Always perseveres. Dito din medyo kailangan yung guys, persevere tayo. Di ba? And because of that, love never fails. Yung... So the love never fails is, you know, people always do the whole, oh, love never fails. There's a reason love never fails. Because of all the previews. You can't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when people in romantic stuff says, love is enough. Love is enough because this is love. Not because of feeling lang.
Mm-hmm.
Diba?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
because of this is the whole thing. This is love. Love is sacrifice. Love is all of these good qualities. It's all of this.
There is all that matters.
So so love is actually a growth oriented thing. Like true love actually seeks to grow for the sake
Mm-hmm.
of not just yourself but for the other person. And this is
Mm-hmm.
the model that we kind of echo in all of our isipin natin, all of the great marriages that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, this is the piece of wisdom that you pull out from them. Like Jake and Amy, what is it? Oh, hindi siya proud, di ba? Hindi siya
Yes.
self-seeking. They're not dishonoring
Patient.
each other. Oh, di ba?
Mm.
They lift each other up. So it's like the opposite, right? It's kind. Hindi siya envious. So,
Yeah,
and
envious
there are
in a way na
exactly,
ano,
right?
yung part na no matter how or where Amy gets in her career, Jake isn't envious of that.
Yeah. Is love blind? No, love is not blind. So
Love
it
is an
says
open door.
Lo- love is an open door. But actually, yeah, hindi siya blind, 'di ba?
It
It
actually
delights in
sees
the
all the
truth.
more.
So it which means to say you have to see what's true. Real
Yes,
love sees
exactly.
what's true. However, when they say love is blind kasi, yung tipong like you just let the bad things about your partner pass. It doesn't mean to say na ini-ignore mo siya. The healthy way to look at it is that you're being patient with your partner. It's not that I'm ignoring your faults or your bad traits. I'm not ignoring it. But I am being patient to you. And I am not keeping a record of your wrongs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also if there are mistakes or if there are flaws,
Yes.
it's also learning to be able to correct your partner in a loving way, speak the truth in love,
Mm-mm.
in a way that that will
With
edify,
kindness
that will
and
build up,
truth.
'di ba?
Right? Kindness and truth.
And hopefully your partner accepts it as building up and not a criticism,
Mm.
right?
So if you're on the receiving end and your partner's correcting you, you also have to be not easily angered.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? And not proud. Ayan, di ba?
Yes.
So flipping things around, exactly the same verse. It's the exact same verse in the Bible, just changing it, di ba? Di
Mm-hmm.
As
ba?
Kuya
You're gonna
Ian
be
says,
also
ay sorry.
patient.
Kuya Ian says,
Yeah,
as
go
a
go lang.
10-year veteran, I would say both growth and happiness daw important of the spouse.
Oo naman. I mean,
Oo naman.
at the end of the day, they really are both important. So it's just that if we had to pick a binary which is more important,
Mm.
then our thought process is mas importante yung growth. Kasi
I
it will
think it's
lead
the
to
same
happiness.
din kasi with God eh. He
That's
doesn't
true.
he yes, he is for our happiness, but he's all the more for our growth
Ano nga ba
rather
yung
than
definition ni
happiness.
Ano nga ba yung definition ni Pastor Peter about love? I think that's the best way to ano
Yeah,
to
true
to
love
cover
is
this.
an unconditional commitment towards imperfect people, seeking their highest
Mm,
good, which
yeah.
often requires sacrifice
Sacrifice.
that leads to the glorification of
Creation
God.
of God. Yes.
My
Because when, because
sacrifice.
when you are patient and all of these things, kunin mo yung energy, di ba? Lord, give me strength.
Sabi ni
Ayan.
Eri, I believe in
Lord,
the
give me
version of
strength.
love is blind. That means love isn't limited to what is measured by physical sight.
Tama naman.
Agree. Meaning to say that we don't judge how we get into a relationship just because ay maganda siya o ay ang gwapo niya or ang ganda ng
Oo.
katawan niya. I mean those traits fade away eventually. Eh. 'Di ba?
True.
So
Very
physical
true.
traits are gonna if are going to fade eventually. So what's more important really is parang getting to know each
Yeah.
other and really learning to love them not just for their for their physical features, but rather for
True.
who they
A more
really are.
holistic thing. So I think
Yes.
we can end with the last question here by Kevin. What's up, Kev? Is love enough for a relationship to work? Again, yun nga, yung definition kasi that we're using here of love is multifaceted, 'di ba? So it is not an emotion. The emotion is passionate and everything is good. Is it enough for a relationship to work? Technically, yes.
Yes.
Because of if you take the at least for me, okay, so the definition we're using here is biblical love. Is the biblical definition of love enough for a relationship to work? I would say yes. So if you want to understand how that works, then you study what it means, right? So, yun nga, 'di ba?
Amen. I think
Yan.
it ganda ng sinabi ni Eri that the it's usually something the love of God is something based on faith. Religion defined as belief in things unseen.
Unseen.
And I agree with that. No, I really definitely agree with that. It's not really about what we see by our sight, no? No, sabi nga,
Hindi siya
we live
skin
by
deep.
faith and not by sight, 'di ba? But really when we talk about parang love and I think we have to understand this that the definition of the world when we talk about love is more of the emotional, more of the erotic love, no? 'Di ba? Eros in the Bible.
More of the dramatic
It's the
also.
drama, the romance, the everything. It's the feeling. But what happens when the feeling is gone? Parang kanta yun.
Napilit
It is.
mo yun! Napilit yun!
No, but it's
Napilit
true.
yun.
It fits. It fits. Hindi
But what
natin
happens
init.
really when the
Pumasok
feeling is
lang siya.
gone? So,
What happens when the
hindi
story
ko
isn't
pinilit yun.
so...
It just landed on my lips.
It just landed there. It's also the story. Like, what happens when your story isn't working out that well in that particular moment? Diba? There are a lot of things like that. So, kasi yung mundo natin ang gulo, diba? It is a broken and problematic world. Yung next door neighbor mo nga, ang daming problema binibigay sa'yo, diba? How much more you compound that with the whole world? That's just how it is. So,
Yeah, totoo. So parang for me really it's as we mentioned the biblical the love that is often defined by the world is usually an emotional romantic kind of love, but as the Bible will will talk about love, it's sacrificial, agape, no? It's to show love, to consider others more than yourself, 'di ba? To look not only to your own interest but to the interest of others. Na kind of love without expecting anything in return. When that is the kind of love that you are showing, then is it enough for relationship to work? Definitely. Kung ganung
Yes.
kind of love. Pero if yung love mo is just emotional and romantic, ay nako, hindi yan, no dice yan, because that's not enough. No, emotions and feelings are not enough for a relationship to work. Because again, relationship is fleeting, no? Rather, emotions are fleeting.
emotions are fleeting.
Emotions are fleeting. And so
So we're not saying that the emotions are bad. We're just that, emotions alone. Yeah. Okay. So baka magpa-final round tayo.
final round.
Final
Fight!
round. Fight. Anything else left to say, ladies and gentlemen?
Simulan natin kay Vince.
Pwede din.
Wala na ako masabi since at this point I'm still not even married yet. So,
That's true. But
Parang-
one day.
May kasal ba sa atin dito? I mean, yes, may engaged, pero may kasal
I
ba sa atin
mean,
dito?
kaya nga exactly. So parang
True.
at the end of the day,
But yeah, don't worry, Vince.
at the end of the day, yung masabi ko lang naman in these kinds of situations is, you just have to boil down on commitment.
Yeah.
Diba?
Marunong mag-commit.
How are you how much are you willing to commit to the person that you're supposed to be, How much are
Yeah.
you willing to kasi people forget that it's the commitment that's important. It's not just love,
Not just the
but
feeling.
it's more not just the feeling of loving someone, but it's actual commitment.
Yeah.
Diba?
Love is a commitment. Love
Yeah.
is commitment, basically.
People forget about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest or the saddest story that we'll be having in today's times. Say, pero, oh,
Okay.
no, I don't love you, and all that. But then at the end of the day, parang, oh, not really. I don't really love you.
Gusto ko
Yeah.
gusto ko gamitin yung ginagamit ng CCF na 4Cs.
Okay.
Clarity. There should be clarity in a relationship. There should
Mm.
be
Truth.
understanding of your capacity to love each other. No?
Okay.
And there should be commitment, definitely, like Vin said. No, hindi
Mhm.
ibig sabihin dahil nag-commit ka to love each other, hindi ibig sabihin na dahil things are bad or things are unhappy, let go na. Hindi yun commitment kung ganun, 'di ba? There's a
Mm.
reason why most wedding vows talk about, 'di ba? Till death do us part, 'di ba? No,
Mhm.
for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do
Mhm.
us part. There's a reason why that's usually included in in marriage vows, because hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ka na masaya, ano na, hiwalayan na kagad, 'di ba? And lastly, consistency. I think
Mm.
it's important to be not just to be committed, but you have to be consistent. Hindi pwedeng parang sa simula ka lang okay sa ka-relationship mo, tapos sa dulo ano na, coasting on by na. Hindi, it doesn't work that way. You have to be
Siyempre hindi.
consistent then, 'di ba?
Siyempre hindi.
So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts.
Okay. So, Maya, final thoughts?
Okay, please bear with me. My cat is
No,
somewhere.
no. Your cat wanted to join the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Di ba? In a relationship daw si
Nag-relationship din si
ano.
Kat.
Naghahanap ng relationship. Charot.
Ay, ganun. Kailangan
Hindi,
kausapin. Joke lang.
yeah, I think it's important to note that the reason why we need to commit to a person and really understand what love is because the people that we are supposed to love or commit to are imperfect people.
Yes, we are.
Kaya natin sinasabi yung mga, kaya siguro kasi hindi ko man naman sinasabi. Kaya siguro yung mga couples, meron silang vows for each other na um, through whatever worse or better till death do us part is because um, you will experience that in your relationship, in your marriage.
Mhm.
And that is the very reason and the very purpose of why uh, we need to be more loving towards imperfect people, towards that person that
Mhm.
you're committing to.
Ah,
Because, sorry,
because
ang
sige
daming
lang, go
ingay.
lang, go lang. Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Ayan. Ayan, where was I? Commitment towards imperfect people. And the reason why you have to be, you to practice what true love is patient, love is kind, not jealous, and all these things, is because, hindi ka naman makakakita ng
Mm-mm.
perfect person eh. You really have to devote yourself to that person to seek their highest good.
Mhm.
Because that is what the kind of love that Jesus showed us, what God showed us. And we love because God first loved us. So we, imperfect as we are, and God Himself loved us, who is perfect, blameless. Um,
Mhm.
Yun yung example, wonderful example of what love should look like. And for us to be able to love that way, we need to experience God's love first. And so as
Mhm.
we experience that love, we will be able to love others even though they are imperfect. So
True.
love is an unconditional commitment. It's not just an emotion, it's not just a feeling, it is an unconditional commitment. Meaning, kahit ano pa tong person na to, imperfect, magkakamali, whatever, you will commit to love that person. The best that you know you can, and with by the grace of God, loving that person. So, yun. That's for me. Thank
Alright.
you, Mojo.
Thank you. Tama mo lang si ano. Di ba? Bring her on the show. Okay,
Yeah, she's
so
up.
I ano John, you what are you are do you have others? Wait, did you speak already? Oo nga, sorry Hindi ako sanay na ganun kaikli yung
Nag-final
final
thoughts na
thoughts
ako,
eh.
so go lang.
Woo! Sorry lang. Okay, I guess I'll finish. Okay, so for me to close, I'll just ride on what Maya said. Tama naman din. It's really correct that basically yeah, it's putting it into practice. It's very like die to self. It's very die to self because it's always like when you get the idea na like how about me? Paano ako? And it's like if you're always looking to feed your own ego, desires,
Ego,
wants,
ego, ego. I'm
you're
sorry.
just you're just gonna like make a mess of things, honestly. Kasi ganun talaga. It's selfishness. That's just it being selfishness. So you just have to bite the bullet. And what Maya mentioned, like you have to know God. Why? Why do you need to know God? Kasi ganito lang. Alam natin, 'di ba, na Jesus died for us, he forgave us, etc. and all that. How does that help you put it into practice? Well, how does it help me? When I am irritated at someone whom I should love, and I'm like, or whatever it is, the situation, 'di ba? Yung tipong nakakainis tong person na to, whatever. It's like, wait a minute. You are also irritating to someone else. You have stepped on someone else's toes as well. You have danced on someone else's toes as well without even knowing sometimes, on purpose sometimes, both. And God forgave you. Kasi alam natin mali 'yun, 'di ba? It doesn't matter how much that person deserved to be hurt or not. Hurting another person
You're still hurting them.
is still hurting them. No matter how
Intentional or
much
unintentional.
no matter how unintentional or whatever, 'di ba? I mean, you apply that to everyone in a just, in a general sense. Hurting anyone is just really, not good. Diba? It doesn't take nuclear science to explain that. It's just common sense. And if it doesn't make common sense, seek help. So, but yeah, I mean, hurting another person is just basically no good, right? And realizing that I have hurt people in many ways, and yet I have been 100% forgiven, 100% rendered okay, that someone else is like, hey, you've messed up, you've hurt people, you've offended people, but we're not going to make you pay for it. I am not going to make you pay for it. I got it covered, I paid for it. All I ask, diba? All Christ asks of us is to trust in him. That he has actually forgiven that. That he has the authority to forgive that. He's actually forgiven that. And then knowing that kasi helps you realize like, okay, if that's how he loves me, I now have a model how to love others. So in this very, very practical terms lang, it's just like when I do the whole die to self thing, it's like, hey, Christ paid for all of the immaturity and brattiness or whatever of this person. How much more naging patient siya sa'yo? How much more naging patient siya to everyone? Kaya mo yan. Yan yung sample. Sundin mo lang. One
Amen,
person at a
amen.
time, one moment, one day at a time. Let's go do it. So, that's it. That's it. Sino ba
That's it,
nagsasabi ng that's
pansit.
it? There you go.
That's it, Pancit.
That's not a
Awesome.
term
So,
I usually use.
with that being said,
That being
I,
said,
I hope you guys enjoyed our time together. And I
Yeah.
keep adjusting my camera. But I hope you guys enjoyed our time together. And if you want to experience that kind of
True
love,
love.
true love,
true love,
join
you're not
us
gonna
in
find it.
Level Up. Yes.
I was gonna say you actually won't find it with us. You'll find it with the Lord.
Yes.
Aww.
True,
True
true.
But
naman.
that said, we will also try to echo that as much as
Try.
Yes, and
we
we will try to
can.
point you to the Lord.
We'll try to point you to the Lord.
And
And
if
if
Do
we're
you're
or do
failing,
not. There is no
if we're if
try.
there is no
if we're if
try.
we're if we're failing, remind us, hoy, dapat you're pointing us to the Lord. Oh, okay.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And so,
Because we want to be accountable.
join us on our Facebook. We have our Facebook page, of course, Level Up Game Nights. Also, We have a Facebook group of the same name, and of course, which will be posted in
Secret
the comment
tunnel.
section. We have a secret tunnel. No, we have a Discord.
Secret Discord. Not
Secret
so
Discord.
secret.
Not very secret Discord. We
Not
have a
very secret
Discord
Discord.
channel, which Maya will be posting, I think, the link into the comment section. And
Yes,
so
Thank
you can join us if you're looking for mentorship, if you're looking for fellowship, if you want to play games, or maybe you just
Or
want
just
a
hang out.
safe space or community where you can grow in your gaming.
Ayan,
Grow
di ba?
and in
Ano yung
your
importante? Growth. Let's
growth.
grow together.
In your and maybe in your spiritual walk, join us in our Discord. We're fun to be with.
We hope.
And,
Are we?
Nga ba?
Totoo nga ba?
We are committed. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, legit. Reinstated. We are committed.
So thank you guys for joining, and watch out for our next podcast. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Have a good evening.